Stormers of the box, let us now sally forth with good measure, and learn with bated breath of all things having to do with items in CSV. Sorry, what? Alright, fine. Sorry, boss says no more Bill Shakespeare or anything like that. Okay, CSV, which stands for comma separated value, is really just another way of saying Excel spreadsheet. And while we all know that Excel is just a four-letter word with an extra E, CSV files are an efficient way to create and maintain a database. And that's how Boxstorm uses CSV files to create and maintain customers, vendors, items, inventory, etc., all of which can be imported or exported. For this video, we'll focus on importing an existing item list. For most users, you're importing an existing CSV file to get your Boxstorm up and running. There are other reasons, and we will cover those in just a minute. First, click on the item module from the left side menu, and in the top bar, click on the three dots, also called ellipses, and open up the Import-Export options. Select Import, and now we can choose which modules we can import a CSV file into. If you don't have a CSV file, we offer a sample CSV that you can download and play with. We don't want you to feel left out. Upload the file, and now we match columns, or map our incoming data to the properly associated field in Boxstorm. As an example, you may be importing a CSV from an old business spreadsheet, and you label one of your fields differently than Boxstorm's default. In this section, you can properly connect all of that information. Let me point out to you that you will not find cost or quantity fields here, because this CSV only pertains to your items, not your inventory of those items. Even if the CSV file you're importing has cost listed, that information will not be imported, so don't be sad about that. By design, Boxstorm only allows adjustments to cost or quantity at the time of adding inventory, receiving a purchase order, or importing a add inventory CSV. And don't worry about that, we'll cover that in another video. Now, I can hear you breathe heavily through your nose and ask, why? Well, because we want to be consistent in our thinking of items and inventory. Items are all the things, while inventory is how many and how much those things cost you. So in this example, you have to add items first before you can have them in your inventory. I need to go off on a tangent while we're here, so excuse me. Let's say you already have your list of items, but want to quickly update their existing descriptions without going through each item in Boxstorm, because maybe you have to literally spell things out for Chad in the warehouse. Freaking Chad. You would export an item CSV, make the changes in your spreadsheet program of choice, and then import that updated file. But, and this is an important but, two details that you need to know. One, Boxstorm has its own proprietary ID system. When an item is added to the list, it is given an ID number in the order it was created. I mean, you can call that counting, but how fancy does that sound? So this number is internal and it is not seen by customers. Two, that ID number must be included in the newly imported CSV file, or Boxstorm will look at those items as new and you will create duplicates, which you don't want. So how do we avoid that? Well, don't delete the ID field in the CSV file and include the ID mapping when you are looking at your columns while importing, or you will be sad. Confused? Great, let's move on. Now hang in there with me. We're almost done, and as my ex used to say, this shouldn't take very long. Make sure all of your columns are how you want them, hit next, and now you can review all the incoming data from that CSV file to ensure all the information is accurate. If there are any items that you do not want to import, check them off in the deleted column. If it looks good, hit import data and revel in all that time you saved. It's kind of like that one time I decided not to get a dog and saved myself a ton of time not having to care for another living thing. Except now I'm lonely. That does it for this training, and if you find yourself needing a cheap and legal sleep aid, go ahead and start this video again.